RU, REDO, RC, VC.
Please stay standing for the National Pledge. I pledge myself to honor always the flag of Guyana and to be loyal to my country, to be obedient to the laws of Guyana, to love my fellow citizens, and to dedicate my energies towards the happiness and prosperity. Please stay standing for our prayer. I'd like to invite Ms. Shreya Ramnarai from the Anna Regina Secondary School.
Let us all bow our heads in prayer. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms toward perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake.
Please be seated. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Mr. Daniel Best, President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh, Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Honorable Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chand, Vice President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Mr. Isaac Solomon, Ms. Anne-Marie Warner, Senior Advisor to the President of the Caribbean Development Bank, Regional Chairwoman of Region Number 2, officials of the Ministries of Finance and Education, regional officials, ladies, gentlemen, our students, especially a pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome to this significant commissioning ceremony of the Early Learners, the Exceptional Learners Center in Cottonfield, the very first facility of this kind in Region 2. Catering to special education needs, it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here in the Cinderella County today to celebrate this important milestone. Special education needs and disabilities have for a long time been a major hindrance to education. As such, the SEND department in the Ministry of Education has been working assiduously to address the diverse learning needs of persons living with disabilities, with the goal of ensuring that education is accessible by providing spaces, resources, and opportunities for our learners. To appreciate the genesis of this project and the work that the ministry has been doing, I wish to invite our first speaker, Dr. Keon Chung, the Assistant Chief Education Officer with responsibility for special needs to deliver his remarks. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I stand on established protocols. Today I stand before you to discuss a profoundly important topic that affects the lives of many children and families in our beloved country, Guyana. The impact of having schools for learners with special education needs and disabilities. But before I address the impact of establishing SEND spaces, permit me to share with you some awesome work that has been done for learners with special education needs in Guyana. These initiatives have been realized because of the leadership of the Honorable Minister Priya Manichan. In 2020, the Honorable Minister requested consultations on special education needs to chart the course forward. And in 2021, under the then Chief Planning Officer, the late Mrs. Evelyn Hamilton, the consultations were conducted and an action plan was drafted. This action plan dovetails with the Education Strategic Plan of the Ministry of Education. The Honorable Minister understands that education is a fundamental right that should be accessible to every child regardless of their abilities. As a direct result of such leadership, Guyana has made significant strides. The rolling out of a screening and intervention packet, the establishing of a facility of the first of its kind in Guyana that provides an interdisciplinary approach to comprehensive assessments. Assessment results are used to inform an individual education plan. Collaborated with the Ministry of Education Jamaica on the use of a curriculum for persons with intellectual disabilities. The implementation of the curriculum would have ushered the creation of an associate degree at the Cyril Potter College of Education. The Ministry of Education has employed its first ever speech therapist. Providing adaptive furniture now sees learners accessing education settings for the very first time. In recognizing that education is a fundamental right, the matter of accessibility was not ignored. Between 2022 and to date, the number of SEND spaces has increased from 13 to 27. That includes this one, but does not include the deaf school and the plans for having a school for learners on the spectrum. Permit me to round up here for you just a few things. Earlier I spoke about the screening and intervention packet, we spoke about assessment, we spoke about the teachers, we spoke about the curriculum, we spoke about bringing a speech therapist. All of these things come together to house a building such as this. All of these services can be found under the roof of this building. Impact. The Exceptional Learners Center has changed the landscape of this administrative region, Pomeroon Supernam. It has added value. This institution is a hub for early intervention for learners on the autism spectrum, for those with intellectual disabilities and those with sensory impairments. For those with intellectual disabilities would be those with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, Fragile X syndrome, to mention a few. The impact of accessibility. This school for learners with special education needs serves as a lifeline for children who may otherwise be excluded from the educational settings and the experience. Some 30 learners will benefit from this initiative here. Educational opportunities impact. This institution provides an environment tailored to the unique needs of each child, with accommodations that facilitate learning for different categories. Educational opportunities go beyond the physical structure. It encompasses a holistic approach. One, it includes trained teachers. In this school, there are graduates from the Gold SEND program and current SEND teachers in the CPC SEND program, maximizing the success of each learner. There's a specialized curriculum that I spoke about earlier. Supportive devices and services. Every Friday, this school accesses speech therapy services. All current learners in this school have been officially diagnosed and have an intervention plan to guide them. Coming out of this would only be success stories, ladies and gentlemen. In conclusion, This existence of this school for learners with special education needs in Guyana is not a necessity, it is a moral imperative. These institutions transform the lives, providing access to education and opportunities that can change the trajectory of a child's future. And that is exactly what the Ministry of Education and by extension, the government of Guyana is aiming to do. Let us continue to champion the rights of children with disabilities and to work tirelessly to build an inclusive society where every child can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chung, for outlining the wonderful work the ministry has been doing. And I'm personally happy to hear the impact that this facility is already having, even though I think it was only open in November of last year. So this project is funded by the Caribbean Development Bank through its Basic Needs Trust Fund. And our next speaker is no lesser than the newly appointed president of the bank, Mr. Daniel Best. So I'd like to, congratulate you, Mr. Best, on behalf of all of us here. And the government of Guyana looks forward to continue working with the bank under your leadership. Mr. Best is here on a 3-day official visit, and we look forward to engaging with him over that period. On that note, I wish to invite you to deliver your address.
Thank you, Madam Chair, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh, Senior Minister in the Ministry of Finance with responsibility for finance and the public service, Honorable Priya Manik Chand, officials from the Government of Guyana, cabinet members, principals and teachers of this exceptional learning center, parents, students, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, my heart is full. When the CDB and the team from the government of Guyana were planning this mission, I never dreamed I would have the opportunity to celebrate the opening of not one, but 2 schools today. It is my immense joy, absolutely. It is my immense joy to celebrate the opening of this new exceptional learning center right here in Cotton Field. This is a significant milestone in the government of Guyana's commitment under President Ali's bold leadership to providing inclusive and equitable education for all children regardless of their abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, education is a fundamental right, and every child deserves the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive in an environment that understands and supports their unique needs. Today we are taking a monumental step towards ensuring that children with special needs in this community have access to education and the resources that they rightfully deserve. Projects like these are at the heart of development and the reason that the Caribbean Development Bank exists. CDB, through its Basic Needs Trust Fund program, is absolutely thrilled to be your partner in this journey. At the CDB, a key part of our mission is transforming lives through sustainable, resilient, and inclusive development. These types of interventions and others in communities like Cotton Field help to ensure that development is inclusive and that the country is moving forward together. In many parts of the world, children with special education needs risk being excluded from quality education and social development mechanisms because of scarce resources. The Education Department in Region 2 identified that persons living with disabilities were at a huge disadvantage because the nearest specialized facility was the Special Education Needs Diagnostic Center located in East Coast Demerara. The construction of an exceptional learning center was therefore identified as a priority to cater for this vulnerable group so that early childhood intervention and inclusive education could be provided. The location for the school was strategically selected to facilitate easy access for persons living with disabilities on the Essequibo coast. It is also adjacent to key infrastructure such as hospital, recreational facilities, and government offices. This school, friends, is more than a building. It is a sanctuary of hope, acceptance, and opportunity. It represents our collective dedication to nurturing the potential of every child and empowering them to achieve their potential. I would like to extend my deepest congratulations to everyone who has contributed to making this vision a reality. As we open the doors of this new school, let us remember that education is a shared responsibility. It requires the collaboration and dedication of all: teachers, parents, community members, government, and students. Together, you can create an environment where every child can flourish and reach their potential. To the students, I say this school is for you. Embrace the opportunities it offers. Be curious, be diligent, and always strive for excellence. Your future is bright and we believe in you. CDB celebrates this momentous occasion with you and looks forward to the many successes that will come from this new chapter in your community's history. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Best, for those profound words. Indeed, I echo, and I think we all echo your message. At this point, we are going to move on to the cultural item, and I would like to invite Mr. Edom Singh, who will be performing a song for us. No, this one.
Good afternoon, everyone. When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burdens me, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can sit on a mountain. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, for that moving rendition. I think you warmed all of our hearts, and I think we can do better than that and give another round of applause. So our next speaker needs no introduction. He probably doesn't want one, but his exemplary leadership is marked by his dedication to unity, inclusivity, and shared prosperity. His policy directives in education is simple but transformational and strategically focuses on ensuring an all-inclusive education system that leaves no one behind, and one where every child in every region receives a sound primary and secondary education. And this facility is a part and parcel of that initiative. I wish to welcome His Excellency to the podium.
Thank you. Please have your seats. Thank you so much, Karen. First of all, allow me on behalf of Guyana, the government of Guyana, and the people of Guyana, to congratulate a friend of Guyana, Daniel, on your recent appointment as president of the CDB. We are sure that with your competence, your experience, and your connection with the realities of the region, that you're going to do an exceptional job. Of course, the Vice President and advisor and all the management and staff of CDB, we want to, by extension, wish them well on this journey of transformation, innovation, and of course, reorganization. Let me also take this opportunity to congratulate the Ministry of Education, Minister Manichan and her team, the Minister of Finance and his team, the Basic Need Trust Fund, and I want to say, Karen, that I want to really give you a shout out here, because your portfolio, the BNPF portfolio, has a very high implementation rate, and also you're doing a great job at completing your projects on time. So I want to congratulate you. I also want to recognize especially the children of this institution and their parents. And I want us to put a big round of applause for the children and their parents. And I want to say to their parents first that we made a commitment to you in 2020 that we understand your commitment to your children. And your commitment to your children can hardly be understood by others sometimes. But I've had the opportunity as president to sit with you and to listen to you and to hear you. I've heard the Minister of Human Services, the Minister of Education, and the leadership sit with you and listen to you and hear about your particular challenges. But today, as we have committed to you, we have shown that you can trust us, not only to listen to your challenges, but to deliver results to you. Today, these beautiful children will have greater opportunities. They will have easier access. They will have the fun cemented in an environment to support learning and support their development. And that is so key. And what about these beautiful teachers? They deserve an exceptional shout out. And I want them to, some of them are here, I want them to stand. And I want us to really give them a big round of applause. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Thank you. We are on a mission in Guyana today to ensure that all our teachers are trained teachers and they have the opportunity to also be trained graduates free of cost, an investment that we are making. But special needs teachers require special people. And the intake for special needs is not as wide as other teachers, because they have to not only be a teacher, but to be the symbol and a manifestation of patience, love, and all that support these children. And they are exceptional in that regard. But more importantly, because of the importance we have placed in human capital, an investment in human capital, we have offered these teachers, special needs teachers in Guyana, specialized training, advanced training, and advanced education through our Gold Scholarship Program, where not only degrees and postgraduate degrees and diplomas, but master's degrees can be accomplished in special needs education. And I want to continue to tell you, the teachers of this country, that as our economy continues to grow, your life will continue to improve, and the prosperity will continue to grow. And prosperity for you is beyond material prosperity. It's beyond financial prosperity. Your prosperity is higher and richer because of the work you do. That intangible good that gives you a sense of satisfaction, that gives your conscience an elevated place, is something that you cannot ascribe a value to. And I, as president, want to tell you here and all other teachers in special needs facilities that we value you, we love you, and will continue to support you. You know, just this morning, the Minister of Education will have turned the sod for a new secondary school in this region. $1.7 billion investment in a new secondary school. That is after we've already opened one new secondary school and rehabilitated a number of schools. But let me tell you the story. If the Minister of Education is to turn the sod for every dorm or school that we have to commence construction on this year, she will do at least 3 every week. For new school, major expansion, and new dorms. She will do 3 at least every week. That is the proof in the pudding. That is the commitment. When we not only said that we'll revolutionize the education sector, but we are putting the resources that will enable the revolutionizing of the education sector. And perhaps much more interesting is very shortly, we will launch the Guyana Digital School. And the Guyana Digital School will have specialized programs for every segment of the student population. It is not, and I want to make it clear, the Guyana Digital School is not delivering digital education. It is using the best technology in AI to simulate and to assess individual students' capability and to develop specific exercise and work program to meet student weaknesses also. That is revolutionary. And this initiative, I can assure you, there is less than 1% of countries around the world that are applying this in a large-scale national level like we're going to do. But much more than this is that we have already presented this to the heads of government of CARICOM, because the Guyana Digital School will be the regional digital school, and this platform will be available for the entire region. In our brief discourse so far, I've already challenged the president of the bank to take this and take telemedicine as two areas that the bank can immediately work on to integrate in the entire region. These are two areas we've invested in already. So, as you can see, we are creating an environment to enable learning 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. We are creating an environment to enable learning at every level. Remedial learning also will be addressed through the Guyana Digital School. But I've just told Ashley and Priya that we must get more out of this facility. We have to maximize the output from these facilities. So we're going to integrate health services for these children with this facility. So that these children, if they have to go for monthly health checkups in the clinics, we're going to bring the clinic to the facility here every month. So we reduce the strain on the parents, on the children, and that is an important part of our service delivery motto as a government. We want to integrate services, make it less burdensome, less bureaucratic, less costly. These centers, as Daniel said, importantly are centers of hope. And if you're to maximize the potential of this center as a center of hope, we have to be able to deal with mental health issues, wellness issues, also from here. The Ministry of Education started a program on guidance counselors across schools. But we have to accelerate these programs in a different way, because we are seeing trends around the world and in the region that can be frightening for parents and for children. But we cannot look at these trends and just sit back. We have to look at these trends and develop policies that will mitigate, that will avoid these pitfalls in our society. So, outside of the building of the schools that we're doing, outside of the training of our teachers, outside of the investment in the school environment, there is this investment that you don't see physically that is taking place to create a holistic learning system and learning environment. And that is key for us. We have committed ourselves beyond, we have already fulfilled what we promised in the manifesto. But we have committed ourselves even beyond that by saying we're going to ensure we have one of this facility in every single region. So we have a specialized facility that is being built in Cummings Lodge. Then, later this month, or early in March, we'll be opening a new special needs facility in Region 3, one that was jointly done by the government of Guyana and the UAE, a state-of-the-art facility. So, we are making these investments because when we speak about human capital, it is every citizen. It is giving every citizen an opportunity. It is maximizing the potential of every citizen. That is what is key for us. That is what is important for us. And you know, when you look at this region, outside of the 1.7 billion project that you turned the saw up at this morning, the new secondary school, we have spent in the last 4 years $6.7 billion. $6.7 billion. So close to $9 billion when you add this 1.7 billion. When you compare that to the period 2015 to 2020, when we were in opposition, we have spent on education in this region more than 600% over that period. More than 600% over that period. And the question is, are you seeing the results? Well, you all know the answer. The region is stopping the CXC. The region is producing high-quality students. My brother, who sang so beautifully, completed CXC. Completed his CXC. We now have what almost all the teachers in this region, I'm sure by now, are either trained or enrolled for training. Right, Rado? Yes. That's it. All trained or enrolled to be trained. And I can tell you, with the Gold Scholarship Program, a high percentage are trained graduates. Trained graduates. And we're not investing only on the coast. We're investing in the hinterland communities. We are building facilities. And look at what we have done. And you know, sometimes we take these things for granted. If you look at the Because We Care grant, which is a grant we give parents to support their children. This is a grant we give before we ever found oil, when we were in government. Then a new government came, and with oil, removed the grant. One of the first things we did when we were returned to office is that we gave back that grant to the children. And in the last 4 years, a direct disbursement to your children's pockets in this region, $1.7 billion. Just imagine that. That in the last 4 years, we have transferred directly in your children's pockets $1.7 billion. This year, we have also committed to ensuring that all the schools, every single school, nationally, regionally, we have established a minimum standard for every school. A minimum standard for your recreational facility, your fence, your sanitary facility, your roof of the school, learning aid and material, textbooks, technology. We have, in a holistic way, analyzed the comprehensive learning environment. We have analyzed the comprehensive learning environment. And we have set a minimum standard, the first time in the history of our country. And we're investing. We are now investing to ensure every school meet that minimum standard. So it's not just establishing these standards and policies. It's establishing them and then investing to ensure that we meet these standards. So when we say education must be inclusive, and education is the foundation of human dignity, we're not saying it in vacuum. When we say education is a powerful tool in reducing poverty and reducing disparity and inequality, we're not just saying it, we're investing in it. When we say that education is vital for economic empowerment, we're not just saying it, we're investing to ensure it delivers that. It is necessary for securing a brighter future. We recognize, however, that there are many children with special needs that have faced undue barriers. Barriers that have denied them the quality education they deserve. That have made learning environments inaccessible and that have marginalized them from the broader society. That is what we embraced when we developed the manifesto. And when we committed that we're going to change that, we first of all embraced that fact and said we don't agree with it, we have to end it, and we're going to invest in changing it. And that is what you're seeing, the results of investing in changing it. And I want to assure you that we're committed to dismantling these barriers. We are here to give those children the opportunities, by extension, the dignity they deserve. Every child, regardless of their learning differences, deserves the chance to realize their full potential. That is why we're investing significantly in the education sector. Recently, the Minister of Education and the Ministry, collaborating with the private sector, would have launched a special pool to help in therapy and rehab. That is the extent to which we're investing. And whilst that is a pilot project, we are already looking to expand that program. For a matter of fact, they are now ready for the second project in another region. So it is not just the building of the facility. It is ensuring that we create that environment that is conducive to supporting the facility itself. So the Minister of Education, I'm sure, would have already looked at a plan where we will put facilities in this yard so that the children can safely have physical activity and they can enjoy this space, this physical space, like any other child. Because that is important in a learning environment. That is important in supporting the parents, creating safe space for these kids. So the Basic Need Trust Fund and the CDB must be commended for understanding this need and including this need in the program itself. And if you look at this facility, I think It is a model, just about, for ease of numbers, just below 500,000 US dollars. So this is a facility that we can easily place in other countries. The design. We can replicate this. This is what we'll call in Guyana, because we're going to replicate this, the base model. And depending on the population, we add to the base model. But this is a good base model to start with. We don't need consultants to come and redesign it. You have a base design that we must share with other governments in the region. Because this would have already met all the criteria set by the bank. It would have already met all the criteria that is required for such a facility. And that is another thing, not at this forum, that we'll be focusing on. How we reduce the lag time between project conceptualization and project completion. That's a very important thing that we have to do as a country. So as I said, our intention is to expand these facilities all across our country, to every single region. But I cannot close without once again acknowledging the parents, guardians, and families who have long been advocating for greater opportunities for their children. This center belongs to you, to your children, and to the wider community. It is a place where your voices will be heard, where your children will be nurtured, and their potential will be unlocked. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are better. Together, among any challenge, we will win when we fight together, when we unite together. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, President Ali, for sharing with us the exciting, meaningful, innovative initiatives that are being aggressively rolled out to benefit all of our children. The future is bright. At this point in the program, I wish to, as we wind down in the program, I wish to invite Ms. Shamrana Prashad, the headmistress of the school, to deliver the vote of thanks, after which we will move to the cutting of the ribbon, unveiling of the plaque, and then a tour of the facility.
I just want to make one announcement, because this is something we spoke about in December, Ashley. And that is when I had the forum with the parents and children, differently abled children and their parents. I made a commitment that in every region we will put a special bus to transport the children with disability to the facility, because that was one of the big concerns. We have put aside resources in the budget, and before the end of this month, the Minister of Finance will ensure that you have your bus here to transport these children. So I just want to, before you speak, Headmistress, and you look very lovely. That's a very nice color. Before you speak, I just wanted the parents and children to know that we will start in Region 2 this year, and you will have that bus to take care of the children. Thank you.
Writing with the students.
Let's start back.
Visual aid rich class.
Yeah, just saying that.
So we're yeah. So we're gonna try.
Let's focus on the speech improvement. For now, we just focusing on the primary. So right now, we that is enhance their fine motor skills. Like we have the basic word, and also we have different blocks. So the fine motor skills forcing them straight into non-fruit. Straight here. Think about 40 minutes more in the program sheet.